Good morning, Tallahassee. It's time to wake up War Chant on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Here's WarChant.com's Aslan and Corey Clark.
Go ahead and steal the shampoo. Take the rope too. It's all about you this weekend.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the program. It is Wake Up War Chant right here on usually 97.9 ESPN Radio, but this is a special podcast-only edition. Corey's here with me, and you might hear a little intermittent white noise right now. Corey, you know what that is?
I don't. The robots?
The robots coming for the takeover.
Yeah.
No, it's the man who knows everything right now.
The guy on the hotline.
Yeah, Michael Langston, recruiting analyst for WarChant.com, joins us here on the program. Huge day on Saturday. It's Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, live. I
Right.
said lights the other day. I got somebody really upset. Their Jimmy's got rustled, so we'll get it right. Michael, how big of an event is this? I mean, I know Florida State had something similar with Seminole Showcase or whatever when Jimbo first got here. How big are these sort of events for the overall recruiting class?
It's gonna be a pretty big event. Now, what kind of crowd we get, we'll have to wait and see on that. But they're certainly, publicizing this thing as their big, conclusion to the summer, and kind of, they want to get some momentum going into the season, and that's the purpose of this event was, one, competing with elite guys against elite guys, but also to build a lot of excitement going into that, big game against Virginia Tech.
Do the conditions for like an event like this, does it make guys want to commit? I mean, does it make kids feel the urgency to go ahead and commit when you have a sort of a night, an event like this going on?
I think some guys, they kind of already know that they're probably going there. I mean, in my opinion, I think a lot of them kind of know, I think that's probably where I'm going, but I just want to see how it goes. And, if I feel it the same way I felt it every time I visited there. I think some guys already know, but then you have other guys where it makes a big impression on them. It's like, you know what, I can really see myself here, and this is the kind of people I want to be around, through my college, career. This is the type of school I want to be at, whether, the academics and just the people in general, it fits me. So you could have some guys that, we don't expect, and then there's some where we've already, had highlighted, commit watch and guys like that. So, I think it's going to be a mixture of both, but overall, it's going to be, a tremendous event for FSU to be able to sell, and it'll probably get even better every year.
Michael, do other schools have something like this?
I think they have stuff that's similar. Like you have Friday Night Lights that, both Ohio State does that, and then Florida does their Friday Night Lights, although that's kind of been going downhill for a while. They haven't, hasn't been as crazy and good. I mean, I think you have Dog Night at Georgia. I think they do that kind of stuff. It's kind of similar stuff, but I think this one's kind of a little bit different of how I think FSU wants to do. I don't know the details of what they're going to do, but I think there's going to be some differences of this event compared to those others event. I don't know the details on that, but that's kind of what I was told.
Michael Langston, recruiting analyst for WarChant.com, joining us here on Wake Up War Chant. I know there's a huge list of kids that are showing up, and there's probably a list right now up on WarChant.com, and we don't want to single anybody out, but 5 stars always look so much prettier on paper than 4 stars. I mean, how many 5 stars are going to be there? Michael, who are you expecting in terms of the elite of the elite? I'm not trying to – this isn't Michael picking favorites to anybody. This is me asking Michael a question, so nobody get upset at Michael.
I'll start with the 2019 class. I'm going through the list right now as I do this, but Cardell Thomas is one. He's an LSU commit. He's the number 14th player in the country. He's a 5-star offensive guard. He's one. And then you have Kayvon Thibodeau, who's from California. He's coming over. He's a 5-star defensive end. He's very talented. And then switching over to 2020, you have another talented defensive end, Savell Smalls he's at Garfield High School in Seattle, Washington. He's coming over at the same school as Trayshawn Harrison, so they're pretty close. And so he'll be on campus. Corvarius Crouch is another guy. He's a linebacker/running back. I'm supposed to be visiting with Sam Howell, who's committed to FSU. So And then you also have Akeem Dent coming in, FSU commit. He'll be working out. So
you mean Sauce
those
Magic?
are
Did you say
five
Sauce
stars
Magic
alone right there? I haven't even listed some of the other top prospects.
What about, was that Sauce Magic you meant? You said Akeem Dent, but I think you meant Sauce Magic.
Yeah, that's Saucy Magic. That's your guy.
That is my guy. Akeem Dent's the dude, man. Hopefully he's nice and healthy and everything. So, Michael, if I gave you the number 2.5, would you expect more? Would you go over or under 2.5 kids you expect to commit on this event for the class of 2019?
See, that's tough, Aslan, because, we put them on commit watch, but it's not like a guarantee that they're going to commit. I would say my gut feeling is it'll be a little bit over that. I think there'll be a few more than 2.5, but it's kind of a wait and see thing where, we put them on commit watch, but doesn't mean it's 100% it's going to happen. I think several guys, to watch are linebacker Kalen DeLoach. He's visiting FSU again. He's been very high on FSU. We think FSU's been the leader for a while. Another guy we're looking at is Charles Cross. He got offered by FSU at the June camp. He's a guy I got on commit watch. And then 2020, Isaiah Dunson. He's a 4-star defensive back / wide receiver. He'll be there for a visit, and he's the teammate of Derek McClendon. Talking to Derek, I kind of got the indication that his teammate was going to be next to jump on board. So those are just a few. And Brendan Gant, another guy, Rivals 100 DB. I think he could possibly be on commit watch. He's very tight with Willie Taggart. He's always talked up FSU. So I think those are some of the guys that I think are very possible that they could get a commit. And then there's other guys that are visiting that, like I said, on paper, I don't think they'd commit, but then everything clicks and, all of a sudden it happens and then bam, another commitment. So it could be higher than those guys I'm listing. But those are the guys that I'll be watching closely, as far as this event.
Michael, if they don't get maybe 3 or 4 commits, or maybe they get 2 commits, but they're not the big super duper stars, would that be considered a disappointment? Do you think Willie and company kind of want the momentum to get rolling, and this is kind of an event where they would like to make a big splash and kind of get the thing rolling into the season?
Yeah, I definitely think they want 3 or 4. Obviously, we mentioned Kalen DeLoach. That would be big for them because that's a linebacker position. They're extremely thin there. You team guys like you, Corey, and Ira, and you guys all know what they're at linebacker. So I think that would bring a lot of excitement. But I do think, I do agree with you, Corey, that if it isn't 3 or 4, I think it'll be kind of viewed as kind of a disappointing, not the event itself, but just disappointing that they didn't have all the momentum they wanted. So I think 3 or 4 is kind of the goal. If they get that, especially with the guys I've listed, any of the, majority of those guys I listed, if they get any of those guys, plus you have the possibility of Rivals 100 defensive back Nick Cross, who I've already forecasted in the Rivals forecasting that's coming out soon, forecast him to FSU. So he could commit during this event. I don't know if he's going to be there yet, but I've heard that, it's a possibility that he could. So I think if you get him and then add in a few more, I think people, anywhere between 3 or 4, I think it'll have a solid effect and a lot of momentum going into the season.
Ultimately, Michael, the kids you've spoken to and messaged with and the guys in the industry that follow recruiting, do they believe, or do the players have the excitement, and do the people in the industry believe that this is going to be a kind of a big event for Florida State? Are these players a little bit more excited to come visit Florida State for this than they were maybe unofficial visits in May?
Yeah, because I think a lot of these kids talk to each other, and a lot of these kids have talked to other people that have visited FSU, and they're like, man, I really want to check that place out. This so-and-so told me about it. It's kind of how that, Cardell Thomas story we broke, visiting FSU, LSU commitment, 5-star offensive guard, number 1 guard in the country. That's kind of how his visit came about. Derek McClendon's a really good friend of his. Derek's like, dude, you really need to go check this place out. It's like, it's incredible. You'll fall in love. It's like, they're real, they're honest, they're genuine. It's like, I think you might like it. And so that's how I think this thing is built up. When the people see the names on this, another 5-star didn't even count is Brew McCoy out there in California. He's supposed to be coming over. So I think the message has been sent where their best recruiters for FSU has been other recruits, that had visited FSU already. So I think that's kind of built the excitement of this thing. And, maybe it doesn't go as they planned as far as everything going smoothly, but I think on paper they're getting the guys that they want there, and I think they're blowing this up to an event that is going to reach elite status once they do it a few years.
Oh, hey, one last thing, Michael. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot, kind of. What happened to my guy? What happened to my guy, John Dunmore? I mean, he was the first guy we visited when we did our South Florida spring recruiting tour.
Right.
I think he committed to Penn State. Is that a guy that Florida State is still in the mix for, or did they move on from him, or did he move on from them?
No, they're definitely in the mix for him, and I kind of addressed this on the boards where I think John's a guy that you don't want to bring him to like an SNL event because you want to have him be around time where you can spend personal time with him, where you can show him. I think if you see John, they would want John to come over for when they start summer practice so John can see the way they do things, or come to the first game of the year for the Virginia Tech game. They want John to experience that stuff more than like an SNL event type of thing. So that's kind of why I think that's part of the reason. I mean, he's been invited, and they're still in the mix. Now, Penn State, I think that was the place he felt the most comfortable with. But I think what FSU wants to sell is like, hey, we want to show you what FSU is about, but we want you to see it for yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I promise. Last question. Are most of these guys coming on unofficials, or is this an official visit for most of the guys?
No, it won't be an official visit. Okay. I don't even think technically they can do that.
Okay.
To have an official visit on this side of this event. So all these are unofficial visits.
All right, sounds good. Michael, hey, man, put you through the ringer on that. Great answers as always, man. Thanks for the knowledge. We appreciate it. All right, once again, thanks again to Michael Langston. But before we get to Saturday Night Live
Are you
from
going
Doak
to
Campbell
that?
Stadium. Yeah, I think so. You're not going?
Sorry, man. I wish I could be there. I wish I could be there. I got to be. My mom's having surgery next week, so I got to be up there for that.
All right, man. Everything all right? Like nothing, once you get HIPAA laws and everything.
Yeah, no,
it's
it's elective.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No, it's something with her neck. Getting some discs taken out. She's got some like nerve issues, so they're trying to figure that out with her neck.
All right. Pulling for Mama Clark.
But yeah, I told her to, put it up a week so that I could miss the Saturday Night Live event. So
can I call her Mama Clark, or does she have a new last name to call her something?
No, Mama Clark. That's the right name.
Right.
I mean, she divorced my dad a long time ago, but she kept the name.
That's a good name.
As did my ex-wife.
Yeah,
she kept Clark as her middle name.
What's her maiden name? Or what do you mean her middle name?
Well, my ex-wife. She's not my wife. She just got married like a week ago.
Oh, she's hyphenating it?
No, but she took his last name, but she kept my last name as her middle name. So it's Shanna Clark Bottingino. It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Bodes well. I think it says something. It's good for Brady.
Bella. Yeah, it's beautiful.
About the Gino.
Yeah, there you go. Good for Brady. Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
She keeps that. Yeah. Just like it was when my mom kept my dad's last name.
Way to be a team player, ladies. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. All right, but before we get to that, let's get some of these questions on this Friday. Let's go to the Wake Up War Chant Renegade Express caller line. Let's see what people got for us here, Corey.
Wake up, guys. How you doing? It's Marlon from Miami. Hey, Corey, did you see Aslan looking all cute, GQ'd up,
Whoa.
looking like Miami Vice at the ACC media?
Mm-hmm.
What is he trying to do? Change his profile pic?
Oh.
Love you guys. Take care, man. Love the show, man. Keep up the good work.
So what was the
Marlon.
get up you had on Thursday? For everybody that doesn't know, I wore jeans and a shirt. I don't even know I can't even remember what shirt it was. It wasn't anything special. What did you wear?
I wore.
It was like a pink jacket.
I don't know if it's really pink. It looks pinkish. It's
Salmon.
It's a red and white pincord jacket. It's cotton. It's cotton blazer.
All right.
But it does look pinkish with just the white dress shirt underneath. No tie or anything.
What were the pants?
Gray, dry fit Nike pants.
Yeah.
You got to keep cool out there.
I mean, it's a good look. It looks, and it's for your
Pink
skin
on gray
tone,
looks
your
good.
complexion.
Pink's
it works
good.
perfectly.
Pink's good on, yeah.
Yeah, I like the
look
look.
good out there. Listen, it's almost like the Golden Globes, the Emmys at SEC Media Days. I'd wear full suit. I mean, full matching coat and pants and tie and Oxford shoes. Like it was, guys, people dress up for SEC Media Days. You're out there networking. You got to dress for the job you want, not the one you have.
Right. Good. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
so
so
you're saying you don't want the War Chant job?
I was just saying ACC Network. Give me a holler if you got to get off the ground.
Right. Sure.
I can be your guy. I can be your.
Yeah, but you look nice. I thought.
Yeah,
You should have gotten a selfie, and then that could have been your profile pic.
That's what I'll wear.
What is your profile pic on Tinder right now?
A number one photo. Actually,
do you get multiple?
I've been
photos?
seeing that girl. Been on like 2 more dates, but I think I said something wrong.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I told her that like I was. So my car's been giving me problems, and I've been trying to get it fixed. And I'm like, oh hey, I saw your CrossFit gym that you were talking about. It looks pretty legit. And then she says, I don't do CrossFit. I'm like, oh, but I haven't been on a date with anybody else, so I don't know how to have got that confused with her.
Oh, so you were replaying a conversation from someone else?
I guess. I don't think so, though. I could have sworn she told me she worked out at this one particular CrossFit gym. And I was like, oh, hey, just by the way, I just,
But what did you say to that? Did you say, well, really? Because I thought for sure you should have replayed the whole conversation.
I did something along the lines. I'm like, oh, I've just been out of it since I got in that car accident. I'm like, my brain's been, knocked around. Cut me some slack. I got CTE.
All right. Well, I mean, that's one way to go about it, too.
And she didn't respond back to that, but we're supposed to do something on Saturday, but this whole Saturday Night Lights
Saturday
thing.
Night Live.
Or Saturday Night Live.
Take
Sorry,
her
I keep
there.
saying lights. Saturday Night Live to me sounds weird because it's not New York City. I'm going to keep calling it Saturday Night Lights. Deal with it, everybody. Get over it.
But you should take her there.
All right.
That would be fun. Be a great day because you're like a big deal. You'd be on the field waving to her.
All right, this is our buddy Terrell from McKinney, Texas, but it didn't go through. It cut off after 17 seconds. So sorry, Terrell. Just give us a call. We'll get you back next time. It transcribes it as Salon, and Corey is spelled Khouri. It's funny the way it transcribes all this. This one's
like a Game of Thrones character.
This one says Corey and Naslin, Naslin. But let's just go ahead and play this one.
Corey and Aslan, wake up. It's Gibby.
Oh!
I know you guys missed my voice. 2 things I want to talk about this week. What potential uniform combination would you like to see this upcoming season? Personally, I want to see the all-white with the garnet helmet. I think that would look really fresh and clean. And then second, the biggest takeaway from the ACC kickoff thing in Charlotte was accountability. And I just can't help but think, if Jimbo couldn't hold his guys accountable, why would Texas A&M pay a guy $75 million to not be accountable? Do you think the lack of accountability is kind of getting to the Aggie beat writer over there in the middle of nowhere? Love the show, and I'll see you guys soon. Let's pound some tequila shots.
Oh,
well, we're not doing that.
Calm down now.
I will say this. Texas A&M hired in their mind 2010 to 2014 Jimbo.
Yep.
The 2015, 16, 17, mainly 16, 17, they're not hiring that guy. They're trying to hire the guy that resurrected Florida State. That's who they think they've got. We'll see if he can be that guy for them. But he certainly had lost that here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, that's back to the Malik Henry stuff we talked about the other day. I think that's the thing, too. I mean, you see the best in people. That's what you're hoping you're going to get from people, right? You don't think about the way the person broke up in their last relationship and how, it won't end that way with me because, I'm this, that, and the other and special.
I'm not going to bring up CrossFit when she doesn't CrossFit. That's not who I am.
Oh, man, Corey with friends like you. All right, let's go back to another caller.
What was his other part of that question, though?
The uniforms. The uniforms. Favorite?
I don't want to see a garnet helmet. Man, again, I just feel like
white on. But is it white on white with a garnet
I like
helmet?
the white on white, but just keep the regular helmet. Then
you know what I like? I do like white on white. If you're gonna do white on white, though, garnet socks.
Okay,
you need garnet
socks.
socks.
What you're doing. I see what you're saying there. I like that. But man, you got such a cool helmet. Don't do anything with it. Do all you want with the uniform stuff, man. I would say even do black. If you want to do a blackout, but still keep the gold helmet.
White helmet, garnet spear, white on white, garnet socks.
I mean, no.
No?
I mean, obviously you're more into fashion than I am.
Hey.
But I just think the gold helmet's pretty awesome.
All right. Next question.
Hey, guys. It's Dustin from Oklahoma. Been binge listening to the podcast here the last couple of days. Actually, I've been on vacation, down your neck of the woods. Went with the family, took the nephews down to Disney World for a week.
Oh, boy.
Corey, I feel your pain, man. First thing I did when I got off the airplane is I had to go buy a fan. Can't sleep without a fan.
There we go. Dang right.
But you guys remember I knocked Ira down to a 1-star for him ragging on Oklahoma City. Now, Corey, you might be joining him. I'm actually from Kansas, little town about 20 minutes from Independence, where Last Chance U was filming at.
Yes!
And I went to the rival school, Coffeyville.
All right.
To Pittsburgh State University, Go Gorillas, which is 20 minutes from Fort Scott. And you've been bad-mouthing my stopping ground.
Tell them!
But anyway, great show, guys. Really enjoy it. Corey, I still love you too, man. Have a good one, guys.
Dude, you are untouchable.
No, here's the thing.
You make fun of people's hometowns, they still love you. I call it Saturday Night Lights.
I think if he was from Shreveport, he'd have a real bone to pick. But I don't. Maybe I said something awful about Kansas, or if he's from College Station, because I rip that town all the time. But Kansas, I hope there are fine people in Kansas. I'm sure there are neat cities in Kansas. They don't portray those kind of things in this show. Let's just say. Okay. Doesn't look great. But I think more to the point, Malik Henry was from essentially Los Angeles, Southern California.
The Valley. From the Valley.
And then went to Tallahassee, Florida, and all that entails as a quarterback at Florida State University. For him to find himself literally in the middle of, well, he called it the middle of nowhere.
And the terrible food. I mean, the one kid had to ask them to fry the chicken for him because he didn't want to eat the regular chicken.
And he called it when they thought he had a concussion, and they asked. That was actually really funny when they asked Malik Henry after when they thought he had a concussion, where are you? And he goes, the middle of nowhere, Kansas. That was actually really funny, and she laughed at it, the trainer. But it was kind of maybe coming at it from his point of view of like being an LA kid, living in Tallahassee for a year, and then finding himself in a rural town in the middle of Kansas. It had to be a stark reality check for him. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I could live there, not because they're not fine cities. I lived in Thomasville, Georgia. That's a small town. I lived in Valdosta, Georgia. I got nothing against small towns. Tornadoes, man. My number one fear is a tornado, other than I guess a plane. I guess a plane flying into a tornado is my number one fear. So I could never live in Kansas or Oklahoma, man, because that flat land and just seeing – I just know I'd see tornadoes, and they'd chase after me.
Robots? Were you more afraid of the robots coming after you?
No, tornadoes. Like I said, I think we'll be long gone when the robots finally take over.
We got two more. Here's a comment.
Hey, guys. Love the program. It's Phil from Jacksonville. I just wanted to point out that, of course, the ACC is the wine and cheese crowd. So, of course, they're going to have better food than the KFC and beer crowd. Just pointing it out.
So, food with it. Did you fill out your survey? I got a survey from the SEC, and oh man,
I should do that, but I didn't.
Absolute just bloodbath. I went all
the
in
ACC.
On them. Yeah.
Oh man,
complimented them on the food.
Okay, good.
Food was great, but the fact that they did not. So, real quick backstory, folks. We weren't scheduled to have Brian Burns and Willie Taggart. By the grace of Willie's good heart, which we talked about last week, Willie.
And we talked about on headlines, by the way.
Okay.
I talked about it. Yeah.
Willie saw us after he got done talking to Jeff. He's like, all right, next up, let me go talk to War Chant. They're like, oh, no. Like, you're not. And he's like, what? Like, well, I'm going to.
It's the home team.
Yeah. So somehow the ACC knows that an outfit called Wake Up War Chant, warchant.com, that covers Florida State athletics. They only put a schedule for Cam Akers. They didn't give us Brian Burns. Listen, we begged people in FSU to give us Will, and they told us it wasn't going to be able to happen. Willie made the executive decision. Willie said, I am going to talk to them. Willie wasn't told to do it. Willie wasn't asked to do it. Willie did it on his own volition. So Willie's awesome. I'm Taggart trained now for
Well,
life.
Next year also what we're doing, and I've already talked to this, well, I've sort of talked about this with Ira, is we're just going to be ESPN Tallahassee. We can be Wake Up War Chant ESPN Tallahassee.
Right.
But that's what we need to be. You and I have talked about that, too. And there can just be two tables for ESPN Tallahassee.
Yeah.
It's not like they need the space because we're two different shows, but we're on the same network.
I mean, they literally did not give us one single head football coach. They did not schedule us for one head football coach. We got Willie, thankfully. We didn't get anybody. We didn't get Rick. We didn't get Dabo. I mean, which is fine. I get Dabo's important. We didn't get Fuente. We didn't get it. I mean, so I gave him a poor rating on all that. I'm like, I just don't understand how you could legitimately not give the largest independent website that covers any of these schools. War Chant's bigger than any website that covers Clemson, that covers Miami, that covers Wake Forest, that covers North Carolina. That you would not make sure they got every single person from that university. Inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. The food was fantastic, though.
Yeah.
Food was fantastic.
Calm down.
Last one!
Hey, guys. Brian from Tampa here. I'm going to try and stick to this 30 seconds. Love you guys. Wonderful. Great show. So, my question is, if you guys had to have a zombie player that played on FSU forever in their prime, one on each side of the ball, who would you choose and why? Hopefully I got this under 30 seconds. You guys are wonderful. Love you, Knowles. Can't wait for the season to start. Later.
Thanks, Brian.
We're getting there.
Brian.
The
That was
season's coming up.
23 seconds. Attaboy, Brian. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
He sounds like probably I'm guessing he's also a Seminole Headlines guy coming with the off the wall question. But I like it.
Man,
I like it.
We get those questions we're starting to get on those shows now. Well, then we can entertain them in July.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to dial that back for some of them. By the way, somebody asked this: are Cheetos chips?
Oh gosh, like is a hot dog a sandwich?
Well, that's a dumb one too. But Cheetos, no, that's not like a real argument.
Puff. It's a puff.
Yeah, it's not a chip.
Yeah.
It's a puff of. It's like a
corn puff
with orange dust sprinkled on it.
Magical orange dust.
I would say
zombie player in his prime, each side of the ball.
Man, for me on defense, it's Dion or Marvin.
I'm going to go really prisoner of the moment on this. Dalvin on offense. I mean, he was so good, man. Dalvin was so good, and you can always have 2016 Dalvin on your team.
You know, I was thinking about this the other day. I still think I'd take Warwick Dunn over him.
That's it for Wake Up War Chant. Get out! No, it's.
I mean,
valid.
you can't get on me about that. It's not like I said.
Yeah,
you know,
Anton Smith.
Yeah, or anybody.
Who graduated
Russell
recently.
Ball.
I saw in the media guide they had a little photo of Anton Smith. He came back as part of like FSU's Finish the Drill program.
And he had a nice little career in the NFL, 5-6 years,
just out of nowhere. Yeah. Like just made it happen. Good for him.
And on offense, man,
Rashad.
No, Peter
Warwick.
Peter Warwick, without that. Just because I'd love to watch him play.
Yeah.
I'd love to watch him play. And maybe on defense, you know, I said Marvin and Dion because they're the two best I think that have ever played on that side of the ball for Florida State. But maybe you want somebody defensive lineman that you can count on. I was thinking Jernigan.
Ooh.
I want somebody in the middle that can wreak havoc. So maybe that's my guy.
Okay. I agree with you, Peter Warwick.
But also you got Dion taking away a good portion of one side of the field.
Yeah.
But I think Peter Warwick almost, just because he'd be so exciting, and he translates in every era.
Yeah. Good question, Brian.
That was a good question.
Fantastic. That's a way to end it. Corey, we got a lot of days ahead of us here. Some people call it the weekend.
Hump days.
People, some people like to take it easy on the weekend. Some people like to get stuff done on the weekend. What do you recommend, and what's your advice to people as we head to the weekend?
I'm not going to talk to them this time. I'm going to talk to you. And you need to make it right with this lady friend of yours.
Okay.
You need to make it right. You need to let her know that, look, I swear I thought you said something about CrossFit. Okay. If you didn't, my apologies. I get around a little bit, and I start confusing all you guys, all you women. I confuse you all together as one. No, you should explain it. Come with the truth. Say, look, I really thought you said that. I hope that didn't bother you. I hope that doesn't make things awkward. Let's go play putt-putt.
Can you think of anything worse than having to go to Saturday Night Live without a date? I mean, I need to get back on track, right?
Exactly.
I got to get back on track.
Yeah, man, Ira will have Kim there, and yeah, man, you've got to have somebody there, and maybe get the red carpet treatment, get her on the sideline, so she can see all the 17-year-olds running around.
I wish you need to tap into your inner Jason Brown from Independence and just coach me up there, just dropping the F-bomb.
You dumb. Yeah. I got a beach
house.
You
ain't never going to get back to the beach house talking like that.
I got a house in Atlanta and a house in Tallahassee.
He's Corey. I'm Aslan. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great weekend, everybody. It's Wake Up War Chant.
The Sod Cemetery, Osceola and Renegade, and of course, the War Chant. These are great traditions known to all Seminole fans. If you are a card-carrying, garnet and gold-wearing Knoll, don't you deserve a site that is truly dedicated to covering FSU sports? WarChant.com's staff has over 50 years of experience covering the Seminoles. WarChant.com is the only FSU outlet with a full-time recruiting analyst in Tallahassee. Plus, it's the only site with a full-time videographer and a daily podcast, 100% dedicated to FSU sports. Why act like Gators and settle for second best? WarChant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.